There we go. Now, for the next trick, we will have no echoing. We'll have no echoing. We'll have no. Nope, still echoing. No, I think we got it. Okay. All right, we're live. Took me 40 seconds. Had to reconfigure some stuff so we remove the echoing. All right, we're live. Took me 40 seconds. Had to remove. All right, so today's card. God, finally got her going here. I guess you guys will tell me if there's echoing, because if I turn it on, then it will show that it's echoing. Last night we did good. Dallas Stars over 6. We had Dallas Stars money line, and what else do we have? We had Colorado in regulation. We had Colorado Montreal over 1.5 first period. The only thing we missed is we put a live bet in on the Maple Leafs to win in regulation. Bad move. Very, very bad move in that regard. But I'll get into the card because I have a little bit of limited time now. Starting a little late today, as you can tell. I tried to get occupancy in. I had some echoing issues. And now, see if I'm echoing here. I tried to get occupancy in. I had some echoing issues. And nope, we're good. We're good. Okay. So, first game of the card, Winnipeg, Carolina. I went on the under to start this. I don't know if I like it or not now. They're putting Big Siv Dave in. Not too happy with that. I thought it would be Hullebuck. And see, Dave Rittich. Frederick Anderson hasn't been strong. The Hurricanes haven't been scoring with a darn. They haven't scored in quite a long time now. Like 1 goal in their last 3 games. But the Jets have been scoring. Now, I'm thinking, because Svechnikov is not going to be in tonight, that they should clamp down even more. I don't know why you'd want to run and gun with the Jets when you're having trouble scoring as it is. The Jets, if you let them go, they can pot them not too bad. Let me take the window capture off. Now my window capture is not working. Are you kidding me right now? Now my window capture is not working. Let me see if I put it on the odds page, if it'll come up. Oh, there it goes. Now it's working. So, yeah, Winnipeg, Carolina. I'm still leaning the under. As far as the side, I almost would probably put a little bit on the Jets here, the way Carolina hasn't been scoring. Are they going to break out tonight with losing Svechnikov? See, the over Winnipeg's gone over 5 of their last 7 games. One of them was against the Wild, and that was the 6. Winnipeg are 3-7 in their last 10 games, and 1-4 straight up in their last 5 games against Carolina. Carolina has been under in 8 of their last 11 games. They haven't, like I said, they haven't been scoring at all. If you look at, they have no goal. They haven't scored a goal in 2 games. They got 1 against Philadelphia, and before that, they were scoring fairly well. 4 against Montreal, 6 against Tampa, 6 against Arizona. And like I said, Winnipeg has been scoring not too bad. So I'm a little concerned about my under the more I look at this game. I should have thought about it a little longer. The Jets are playing their third game in 4 nights, and that's never a good thing. Carolina is also playing 3 games in 4 nights, but it wasn't on the road. There was only 1 game on the road. They played at home to Vegas. They went on the road to New Jersey, and now they're coming back home to play a Jets team that really needs the win. I almost think a draw would be a good spot here for a draw. I feel like this would be, you got 2 teams from the West and the East Conference. Carolina just trying to get their legs back again. Winnipeg now playing 3 games in 4 nights on the road. Who do they play after this? And I believe they go home after this. Yeah, they go home to play Boston after this. Wow. For 1 game, and then they're back on the road again. So, I mean, I don't see it as a look-ahead spot necessarily. It's a pretty big game. But something tells me that maybe, Carolina's sort of, okay, we're in now. Kind of taking a breather here a little bit. Saying that, kind of subconsciously in their minds, they're in. They don't, I don't know if they want to grind it out in this game or not. That's what I'm trying to say. The Jets are, Nashville is kind of there. As it stands right now, they would play Dallas in the playoffs. They want the win, for sure. But on tired legs, I'm not so sure that, I think they would be happy with the draw here. I really do. And I'm not sure Carolina wouldn't be okay with that as well. I still like the under. I think that this could be a very cautious game. Carolina hasn't been scoring a lot. Now, they want to get their scoring going, sure. But I also don't think that they want to run and gun with Winnipeg. If they're going to lose this game, that's probably how it's going to happen. If they're going to win the game, they're probably going to be able to shut it down and win like 2-1 or something like that in overtime. And I just get the feeling that both of these teams would be kind of happy with that. That's the way it went. So I'm kind of leaning the draw, yeah. I'll stick to my under 6. Apparently, you can find it at a 5.5 if you like the over. There's a couple sites that have a 5.5 up in this game. So, as far as props are concerned, I probably wouldn't look at much of anything here. Carolina's good at. I could be a low shot, low event game for a Tuesday night in Carolina. Tampa Bay, New Jersey. There's something in me that thinks that Tampa Bay wakes up to this game. You got, these young whippersnapper New Jersey Devils that are. I feel like they could want to show them up a little bit, especially after losing quite a few in a row here. They have owned New Jersey, but that was a different New Jersey team back in the day. But that being said, I think in players' minds, they especially because these guys, they have all been together for quite a long time. There's like this air of confidence that you've owned a team. And it's possible that Tampa Bay comes in with that confidence and gives New Jersey a good go here. But New Jersey is playing really well. Yeah, they just beat Carolina. They beat Montreal before that. They beat Carolina 3-0. Played really well in that game. Now, I think that was a game they were probably highlighting because they want to show that Carolina team that they're better than them. I mean, they're coming up to the playoffs now, but I don't think that's any less the case here against Tampa Bay. So I don't really see a letdown spot. I mean, I get the feeling that New Jersey is really trying to put the stamp in teams' minds here that they deserve the record that they have, and that they want to get. I feel like they want to get a psychological upper hand, especially on teams that they could face somewhere down the line in the playoffs. Not a big fan that Anderson is in that here. The big question for me in this game is this the wake-up game for Tampa Bay? They lose to Winnipeg. They beat Chicago in, honestly, a snore fest. Vegas, that score made them look good. Honestly, I think Vegas really took it to them. And they beat Philadelphia, a team that they felt that they can beat. So the thing is here is they've been beating teams that they feel that they can beat. Now, they're going to go into New Jersey. But when they were beating those teams, when they beat Philadelphia 5-2, they didn't they sort of dominated the game, but I didn't feel like they just came out flying. Same as the game in Chicago. They just sort of went through the motions and won. If they try to do that against New Jersey's going to win. There's no doubt about that. Recently, you had the last game they played, Tampa Bay beat them in New Jersey pretty hard. That's another reason why New Jersey won't take this lightly, I would imagine. In fact, Tampa Bay's won the last two. They won at home, and they beat them in New Jersey last game, and that was February 15th. That was a different Tampa Bay team at that time, though. Tampa Bay was playing in the early part of the season pretty hard. And I said that was likely going to be the case because I didn't feel like they felt that they could do their normal take it easy during the regular season and make it in the playoffs until they got a spot, which they kind of have now. And it kind of feels like they're sort of like taking it easy now. They're just idling into the playoffs. Trying to get, not wanting to kill themselves, having energy for that Toronto series. And also, I think it's when teams make the playoffs over and over again, win cups and stuff like that, this part of the season just kind of gets boring for them. They could maybe try to say, okay, we want to catch Toronto to get home ice advantage, but that's never been their MO. They've never worried about home ice advantage. They're far enough ahead of the Islanders for sure that they're not going to miss the playoffs. I like New Jersey money line, but I don't think it's going to be an easy game. I think Tampa Bay will play a little harder in this one. I think that Tampa Bay will play a little harder, but I'm going to take New Jersey money line. In fact, I think it's possible they could get Chase in here and this could go to an over as well, but I'm not. That's more of a lean than anything. Next game. Oh, as far as props are concerned, I should look at some props. Okay. When I look at props, this is what I like to do. The first thing I do is I go check out Natural Stat Trick. Shots for and against. Shots against Tampa Bay Lightning are, how are their shots against? I think they're probably middle of the league. Yeah, somewhere around there. Recently, Tampa Bay has been allowing a lot of shots, though. As far as shots for is concerned, New Jersey is right up there. So yeah, I would look at some shot props here for New Jersey. I think they come out hard against this Tampa Bay team. I don't think they're going to rest on their laurels because they beat Carolina. So let's look at some props. Mercer to get a point is pretty much a guarantee now. He's like, he just knocked off an 11-game point streak, something like that. So I think the last game they played, Jack Hughes did not hit his shot. Oh yeah, he did. Against Carolina, he still had over. It was Montreal he didn't. See, these big games, Jack Hughes generally gets up for. So we'll look at that. We'll look at Hughes over shots at minus 120 or minus 125 over 3.5. I think we'll look at that one. Palat is playing against his old team. It always seems to, you could probably get some pretty good money on that. Either to get a point or shots on goal. Oh, they don't give you shots on goal here, so it'd be just to get a point. At plus 130, we'll put a sliver on that. Palat plus 130 over points. Throw a little bit on that. Nico Hischier is usually pretty good for shots, but he's gone under his shots the last 2 games against Montreal and Carolina. Now, something you look at when I'm looking at that, oh yeah, is I believe Tampa Bay Stamkos is out too. It might be tough for Hischier to get his shots playing against Tampa Bay with 2 good defensive players like Cirelli and although I've heard that Cirelli is out, let's take a look at that. If Cirelli's out, I even more like New Jersey here, and I would like Hischier shot props for sure. No, he's in. So you got 2 defensive guys like Braden Point and Cirelli. I will say that Hughes will probably still get it, but I don't know if I would go. That's a difficult matchup for Hischier. Timu Meyer on the wing, though. That would be more. Tampa Bay is a little lighter on the wings lately. Yeah, there we go. Over 3.5 is minus 150, though. I'm not a big fan of that price. Not a big fan of that price. He has gone over that 3 of the last 4 games. One of them against Toronto. I'll put a question mark beside that. I might take that. Mercer to get a point we already have. I wonder if they'll play more from the defense here. A guy like Dougie Hamilton. See, he hasn't been hitting very much, and he's only hitting minus 165. He hasn't gone over his shots for 4 games, so no, that wouldn't be it. This might be the only ones we go for here. Jesper Bratt. Boquist, if I remember correctly, they're playing Boquist up the lineup tonight. Jersey Devils. No, he was up, but now they got him back down again. Probably Jesper Bratt. Let's look at Jesper Bratt. Yeah, just for Bratt. Over 2.5, minus 105. He had 5 shots against Carolina. Didn't hit his shots against Montreal. Did against Washington. So they were using him an awful lot again in that game. We'll try that. Bratt, I like that. I like that price. Over 2.5 shots. Minus 1.5. Minus 105, I should say. Okay. So let's carry on to the next game. We're going New Jersey. And I kind of lean to the over. New York Rangers versus Washington. Washington coming off of a win against the Islanders, which isn't all that much of a feat, really, to tell you the honest truth. Washington really has successful against the Rangers, though. 6-4-0 in the last. Yeah, they beat the Rangers at home last game, February 25th. They beat them away. Last time the Rangers won, they won 3-2 at home. And that was last April 29th. So it's kind of been a back and forth series. It's hard to back the Capitals with their roster the way it is right now. And it's kind of hard to back the Rangers the way they've been playing ever since they got Kane. They did beat Buffalo. They barely lost to Pittsburgh. So it looks like they're getting it back together here again. This kind of feels like a spot where the Rangers can kind of put it together. They've had some time now to figure out what they're going to do, especially if there's going to be penalties in this game. And I have a feeling there might be. There's no love lost between these two teams. 4 games in 6 nights for the Rangers, coming off of 3 Eastern road games, which isn't too bad. And Washington is actually a little more rested. We got, they played on the road, then they went home, then they played on. They were at the Islanders? I thought that was at home. Could have swore that was at home. I think that's a typo. I think they made a mistake there. But what do they got after this? Oh, they got Buffalo after that. That's right. They're probably going to play Darcy Kemper here. But this is kind of like when you got a front part of a back-to-back, they're going to go balls out in this game and then leave themselves dead for Buffalo. I guess you really have no choice but to do that. New York Rangers play Capitals and they play Pittsburgh twice. Slightly lean to the Rangers. I don't have a really good read on this game. When I look at Washington's lineup, it makes me go, okay, yeah, the Rangers have got to win this game. Kind of a revenge spot, so I'll go with the Rangers in regulation, but I don't think I'm going to toss a ton on it. And as far as the total, it feels like it's the total. It's a 6, right? Yeah, it feels like it's the total. It feels like a 4-2 or 3, maybe just under a 3-2. Something like that. Vegas versus Philadelphia. I mean, I can't back Philadelphia in any spot right now. Like this, to me, seems like a team. Hi, whoever just came in. Thanks for coming in. To me, this seems like a team that just kind of knows it's all like it's just so much going on in this organization, right? Yeah, the firing of Chuck Fletcher, who, by the way, was very much liked by the players. It's very hard not to like Chuck Fletcher as a human being. He's just a wonderful person. I heard Bruce Boudreau talk about him, saying that he's one of the most likable people you're ever going to meet. You just can't help but love the guy, and it just causes you just kind of know it's over in Philly. Like the season's over, and you get that feeling that they're sort of being like that. The bad part here is that Vegas is on the last game of a road trip, and they could be thinking a bit ahead towards home. But I just think Philadelphia is so bad right now, especially with Sandstrom and net, that they could kind of coast through this game and still win it. So I'm putting a little bit on Vegas in regulation here. As far as the total, yeah, see, Vegas is 6-1 in their last 7 games. They could just take a breather here and go, whatever. I don't care about this game. The last time they played was December 9th. Like, they haven't played in a long time. So they have been playing. I guess there's an over there. Last 2 games have been to the under, though. But, I mean, I can't support Soderstrom and net with the defense of Philly. I just can't support it at all. There's no way. So I'll just take Vegas and reg with the understanding that it isn't a very good spot for them, being the last game of a road trip. And how long of a road trip was it? A fairly long road trip, and a successful one at that. See, these are things that usually, if a team's had a really successful road trip, the last game of a road trip, they can flub it. It's just, how do you back Philadelphia? They didn't flub. The St. Louis game was a game that you could have looked at flubbing too. But here's the thing, too. They went Tampa, Carolina, came back west, played St. Louis, and now they're going back east to play Philadelphia. It's a terrible spot. It's a terrible spot. And then come back home and play Calgary 2 days later. I'm not a favorite of this game. It's just, if it was anybody other than Philadelphia, I would probably take the home team here. But I can't back Philadelphia no matter what right now. Just in the place that they're in. And the way Vegas is kind of going right now. It feels like they want to win that division too. Pittsburgh versus Montreal. I got to go Pittsburgh here. The only thing is like, look at the juice. My gosh. Minus 133, minus 140 on the puck line. Montreal just got spanked all the shit. I think what I would do here is probably just go the over. Go the total over. I think Pittsburgh will probably win. They need to win. I mean, anybody that is driven to need to win in against a team like Montreal is probably going to win that game. Montreal isn't on a back-to-back. I mean, I can't make a case for Montreal. So I don't like Pittsburgh at that price. They could all of a sudden decide, hey, this is Crosby. We're going to come out here and just smoke this game. But Pittsburgh is in needing every win right now. They didn't have a letdown against Philadelphia. They kind of did against Columbus and then came back and won that game. And that sort of just kind of woke them up, I think. So I would say Pittsburgh wins this fairly handily. I would lean the over. although I don't like to, with Jari and Pittsburgh probably will get their goals against Molten Bull with that bad defense. And Montreal, I mean, Jari lets goals in, let's face it. I mean, he does. So I would lean the over. And I mean, find a way to play Pittsburgh, possibly Pittsburgh team total over. Take a look at that, but it's probably fairly juiced. They scored 3 against New Rangers, 5 against Columbus. You know, they have been scoring a little more as of late, and if you're going to score, probably against Montreal on a back-to-back would be a time to do it. Montreal first period, probably. Minus 0.5 first period wouldn't be a bad look. Just take a quick look here. Pretty sure it'll be pretty juiced up, but first I'll look at periods. Minus 110, yeah, that's not a bad idea. If you're going to get a little money on it, get a little better price. Montreal Canadiens over 2.5. It's not a bad shot with Jari in that. I'm not a fan of Jari. Oh, well, see, it's so juiced. You'd have to take over 4.5, so I'm not sure I like that with Molten Bull in that, so I probably wouldn't go that direction. Detroit versus Nashville. It so feels like a draw game. I would take the plus money on Detroit just because they're pretty much equal. So why would you play minus 149 with Tampa Bay? I don't know why, but I feel like this will be an over. Is there a recent record reason why I think that? Yeah, Detroit 5-3. Well, they beat Boston 5-3. Lost to Boston. They've won against Chicago 4-3. Just looking at the teams that they generally go over against real quick. Nashville's been potting a couple. Vancouver. Yeah, against weaker competition, Nashville has a tendency to go over the total. It's just hard with Husso and in net. I would play Detroit for a little bit, especially first period. I believe Nashville's coming off of a road trip, right? Let's take a look. If they're coming off an Eastern road trip, I might be a little heavier on Detroit here. But I believe it was a Western road trip. Yeah, it was a Western road trip. But they played 3 games and 4 games. This will be they played 3 games and 4 games. This will be 4 games and 6 nights. Detroit is more rested. 3 games and 4 nights. They played in East, and then they're coming to Nashville. How's this? They played a home and home with Boston. So they came home, and now they're going back on the road against Nashville. Both of these teams probably feel like they got nothing to lose. If they have any chance, they have to beat each other here. Nashville's got Chicago after this, then Winnipeg. And Detroit has nothing after this till Colorado. They go back home after this one. Feels like a draw. Just feels like a draw to me. If I'm going back and forth on sides, just feels like a draw. Boston versus Chicago. I'm not backing Boston in this spot. I know that they probably will win, but minus 425. It's so is the from now until the end of the season. You got to really watch with Boston. It's been they clinched. It's like it's kind of take a big breath. Yeah, we a sigh of relief. And the Chicago team that on paper shouldn't even come close to this Boston team, but will probably play. This is like Chicago kind of having their playoffs. If they can beat Boston, they can kind of feel good about themselves. You know what I mean? Like feel good about the year a little bit. Give them a little bit of gumption. I don't know if they're going to be able to do it. I mean, I think it's possible though. I think it's very possible that they could do it. Boston has owned Chicago, though, in every way. Allmark is in. The only thing I could think of here is like Boston probably practices that, like they keep on practicing their defense. They try to shut Chicago down. I don't think Boston comes out here and tries to roll over Chicago. So under 6 is probably not a bad play. I don't think it's ever a bad play with Allmark and net to take the under. If Boston, for some reason, decides they want to come out here and play this game, I mean, they will freaking destroy them. No doubt about it. But this is a first game of a Western road trip. They're coming off a loss against Detroit. Then they got, Winnipeg, Minnesota, and then Buffalo. I don't know, good thing I'm doing a live cast tonight, because if Boston is showing legs here, I'll probably live bet this. If they're showing like, okay, let's get back on the horse and beat the shit out of Chicago for whatever reason, then I'll probably live bet it. So get on the ice cast tonight. Betcast tonight for the ice guys. Ottawa, Edmonton, it's another live. Hopefully it just goes slow, starts off slow. I like over 2.5 second period. And I kind of like Ottawa. They're going to throw everything at Edmonton. Edmonton's not good coming off of a road trip, and they're coming off an Eastern road trip right now. I kind of like Ottawa plus 148, to tell you the honest truth. They're going to be focused. I mean, their legs are probably tired, but Edmonton will start off slow. Ottawa moneyline first period. I think that would be a good play here. Edmonton coming off that road trip. Yeah, you go take your family, you go see your family and all that shit. They kind of, after a big win over Toronto, feeling good about themselves. What did they have? Yeah, Buffalo. They were on the road for quite a long time. One day, they had 2 days off. I would take Ottawa moneyline first period. And, over, but I would wait to see if you can get a 6.5. Calgary versus Arizona. I don't want any part of that game. Draw. Who knows what Calgary's going to be? I don't know. You think they would come out balls out? If you tied me down, I'd say Calgary in regulation, but I just avoid the game. Over, I suppose. Yeah. Dallas, Vancouver. I like the over here, and I'd probably put a little bit on Vancouver. Dallas coming off of a back-to-back. Big wins. They've been rolling really well, but this is really a kind of a tough spot for them. I'm not laying minus 137 on any team that has played as much hockey as Dallas has in the last little while. That's really what it comes down to. They have played a shit ton of hockey. And if one thing that Vancouver can do, is skate. They're fast, especially when it comes to their forwards. And they don't look like they're backing down or trying not to win or anything like that. And Dallas has played against Buffalo. Maybe it's not as much as I thought. Spanked the shit out of Buffalo. Went into Seattle. And then they play Vancouver and try to save energy for Detroit. And they got a kid in net that, I'm not really all that sure of. I would take a shot at Vancouver here. I think Vancouver has, they're rested. They've had some practice time. Demko should be in net. Last I saw they hadn't updated it. Yeah, they still haven't. But I would take a shot at Vancouver. And I would go over the 6. Just Vancouver's always over. I'm surprised it's actually only a 6. So Islanders versus LA, and I'm just taking LA. They're just rolling right now. Matchup wise, I didn't look at the matchup of it. Washington just lost, 5-1 in their last game. That was at home against Washington. They lost 5-1 after beating Detroit, Buffalo, Pittsburgh. Then they went home, played, and now they're going out for the first game of a Western road trip against an LA team that just honestly seems almost unstoppable right now. They are playing so good, especially if Korpisalo is going to be in net. I say that, but they had a flat spot against Dallas, their first game after Colorado win. I think they get back on her again, and they got the Islanders, Columbus, Vancouver, Calgary. If they beat the Islanders here, they've got very winnable games for them at home now for a while. So I like LA. I think the Islanders are susceptible to speedy teams too, and LA is sure all that. Very speedy. Very fast. With Sorokin and net, I don't like playing the over. I would like maybe Sorokin shots saves. That would be a good bet. Sorokin save prop. See if we can find that. Can we get a Sorokin save prop yet? Total saves. Only 28.5? What? How is that? Yeah, I'm all over that. Sorokin saves. What am I missing here? Shots for. I could have swore LA was right up there in shots for. 8th. And I'm positive the Islanders are like on the bottom of the league for shots against. Maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, not too far off. New York Islanders. Yeah, their shots against her. I'm taking that. Sorokin over saves. LA money line, and I don't have. I think it would. I think it might be an under, but I'm not sure. It feels like LA first period. LA money line, LA in regulation, and that save prop. I would say that would be my plays for that. I got to get those in soon. So there you go. You're getting finally Columbus, San Jose. Like both of these teams are just ass. Just ass. My gut says that Columbus wins this game. If you're going to play it at all, you might as well take the plus money team. I think they're a bad road team, though. They play to the under a lot. Maybe they will, but two bad goaltenders in. Well, Tarasov, he's all right, and Kakinen's bad. Are they going to go just have some fun and play some pond hockey here? 7-18-5 on the road, and San Jose is 6-19-8 at home. I'll put a unit on the over just because usually when these two bad teams play. But the thing is, it's like San Jose, who's going to score for them? And Columbus, I would lean Columbus. I think that's the play. I would just say Columbus at plus money. Why not? They got more scores. Tarasov, when he's been up, he hasn't been that bad. And he's had some pretty good AHL numbers. He's actually been better than Kapanen. Just feels like the Blue Jackets will win this game for some reason. A draw would seem reasonable too. All right, that's my full 42. I'm going to finish my copy and I'm going to do another TikTok. And I'll talk to you all tomorrow. Have a great day, everybody. Okay, bye. How did I do that? Nobody's going to watch.